Hey guys, it's Mike with Redneck Politics, where real American voices matter. Guys, today we're going to talk about elections, and we're going to talk about 2026, and we're going to talk about 2028. Because right now, Trump is starting the process of believing or think that somebody is, the elections are not going to be fair, that they're going to steal the elections like it was stolen from him in 2020, which is bullshit. He knows it. He filed over 62 things through the courts when he lost, and every court, knocked him down because, they said you can't do this, but yet he was trying to push and do everything he could to win that 2020 election, and he did not. I don't care what anybody says to you. You can look for yourself and find that there was no illegalities in our election. Trump is the one that tried to steal the election. They started out with this fake elector scheme. And the fake elector scheme was basically this. They brought in fake electors, and I'm talking each state, like Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, whatever. They knew, Trump knew that he did not win this election. So he had to try to get people, other Republicans, to help pull this off. The fake electors were to certify the election results from each state. So in other words, Georgia would say, well, Biden won, and we're going to certify in the state of Georgia that Biden has been elected the new president. That's the way every state operates. But what Trump wanted to do was bring in these fake electors from these red states to basically lie and say that he won the election. When Trump made that call to Rathenberg, I can't never pronounce his name right, in Georgia, you remember I need 11,780 votes, one more than we need to win. Until the time that Biden was inaugurated on the 20th, Trump, from the moment he found out that he was defeated, up until that time, did everything in his power to try to reverse this. He tried to get Pence, his vice president, to sign off and say that, these results are wrong and we're sending them back to the states. But you see, that's one thing I've never been a big supporter of Pence. But one thing I can say about him is he knew that if he got involved, it was wrong and it was illegal. And from his moral values, he did the right thing. I mean, he was not a good vice president for Trump like Vance is for Trump, because Vance is willing to do anything he can to help Trump succeed in holding power, because that means he holds power too. I've stated in several videos that Trump is not just going to walk away peacefully saying, I lost this time again. He's not going to do that. I think he is building up to try to get the law to change to where now there's no limits on presidential terms. That's what he wants to achieve. And if he has the power, meaning that he has Congress and he has the Senate like they have right now, to try to pass a law such as that. But I think he's more worried about it now instead of 2028, because some things are happening now that should scare the hell out of him. And it should scare us too. Because it's putting him in a situation where he's going to have to do everything he can to try to maintain power for the Republican Party. Now, me personally, I don't think Trump gives a shit about no damn Republican Party, like he don't give a shit about no Democratic Party. And that's because Trump is who he is when he needs to be. Whatever helps his situation, period. He's tried to run on the Democratic Party as president before. You know, a lot of the Democrats saw right through him until it didn't really work out well for him. And so that he ended up changing to the Republican Party and then was running for president in 2016. But Trump, whether or not he gets to stay in power himself, I firmly believe that instead of concentrating on 2028, they're going to concentrate on 2026, because I'm going to tell you why. It's pretty much a fact that in between the presidential elections, when it comes to midterms, whatever party's in the White House, most likely the midterms is going to come out for whoever. I mean, it's like you got your Republican, in the White House now. But even if Trump can't, be the actual candidate to get another term, he's gonna put somebody in there that he can continue to manipulate and him still have control. But I was thinking, Trump's numbers are so low, and everybody that knows Trump knows that those polls are very important to Trump. It don't matter if they're off by one, he will pitch a bitch. But for some reason, his numbers are down to 37% that, approval rating. The rest is disapproval. You would think that he would be totally freaking out. Why is it that he's not freaking out? Because he knows if he loses the midterms, it's going to change everything else for the next 2 years. After that, he will be then a lame duck president. And the reason why is because now you have, whether it's the Congress or whether it's the Senate, if the Democrats in the midterm wins either one of those, now we can, put the guardrails back up and keep Trump in check for the latter 2 years of his presidency. But I don't think I don't think he's gonna let it get that far, because y'all might have heard it. If not, I'm gonna tell you. Georgia. The FBI went to Georgia last week, and with a warrant, they went in and they seized over 700 boxes of registered voter information who live in the state of Georgia. Did you hear what I just said? The Republican president with the Republican Party goes to Atlanta, Georgia with a court order And I don't know what the hell they told a judge to get this court order. And they confiscated over 700 boxes. We're talking about every person who is registered in the state of Georgia. They now have that information. They know now whether you're a registered Democrat or a registered Republican, and Trump tries to wreak havoc on that information. So they want to change the whole ball game, and they want to do this with every state. They want to nationalize elections. Do you hear that? They want to take our elections, and instead of the state controlling each state with their own electors, instead of the state doing it, now the feds, Trump wants to take that away from the states and have nobody control voter information, voter registration, everything in the hands of Trump and his SS regime that he's got going on. So do you see what he's trying to do? He wants to take, just like they tried to do with doing, maps again in their states to try to get, to divide everything up to where the edge would come out more for certain parties, say the Republican Party in the state of Texas. They tried to do all that shit and didn't get away with it because the court said, number one, if you were going to do this, you should have done it a long time ago. And now, number two, you're in midstream. We're not going to change it. And so that messed that up right there. But Tulsi Gabbard showed up in Georgia, and you have to ask yourself, what is it that Tulsi Gabbard, why is she even involved in this? But it's really it's just one of Trump's hench people, and through her he can control more, just like he can through Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and all them. They don't run their departments. Trump runs their department, and it's going to continue to just deteriorate more and more and more as it goes. And they want to take these elections, and they want to control the outcomes. People, I'm telling you now, I don't care what state you in. If they try this process, each state needs to stand up for themselves and voice your opinion. Because think about this. If they take every state and they collect all the data, information, everything on every registered voter in every state, that's a lottery. And it's also wrong. Because now you can manipulate things without any oversight whatsoever, nobody looking over your shoulder. If you were going to do something like this, it would need to be bipartisan. But see, it's not, because none of what Trump is trying to do is going to get him any closer to where he wants to be. Right now, everything is falling for Trump. Everything. He's got to figure out a way to get its control reined back in, because really the people are the only ones that can really, state whether or not Trump can stay or go. Guys, we've got a lot more to deal with than just the next 3 years of his term left. He's trying to do everything he can at every step of the stage that he can to ensure that the Republicans remain in power. And even if Trump don't get elected in a third term because they've changed the law, now they can manipulate it to where they can put in whoever they want. Like I said, J.D. Vance. but the real person that's calling all the shots is a person that's not even the president anymore. So the pattern that they're trying to instill it can be very damaging for the United States of America if we let this continue on. We've got people that are fighting this. We've got state attorneys from each state who are saying, "Hey, we can't do this," and the only ones that can bring him in is the courts. And so far, he's got a losing record from hell, because everything he's tried, the courts have said, "No, you can't do this." But, they're going to try to use, they've already stated that they want to have ICE agents at every poll, for voters that there is. They want ICE to control what's going on around each poll, at each state, at each city, wherever it may be. I mean, ICE is supposed to be immigration, and now we're using him for voter registration for people at these polls. I mean, we're giving power to ICE. I mean, there's a lot of things that's going to have to be done. And I'm going to tell you, Trump and his FBI and his DOJ, etc., all of them, they want these files so they know what predator is in the files. But I'm going to tell you something. And this is just a shot in the dark. I'm not saying it's, but the way Trump has filed these suits against every, whether it's law firms, whether it's colleges, whether it's corporations, wherever it is. I think, honestly, all those Epstein files, they've got names of predators in those files, co-conspirators. And, I keep going, well, why are they not giving up all this information? At first you can say, well, Trump, he's scared to death you're going to find something out on him. Well, I think that's kind of been ruled out a little bit now. A bombshell can drop. But it would not surprise me if Trump turned to every one of those predators and said, hey, listen, you want your name kept out of the paper? You want your name kept off the news? I'm the one who can keep that. I'm the one that can make that happen. We can keep your info a secret. We can keep info proving that you're a pedophile secret. I mean, these are rich guys who are wealthy. I would not put it across, Trump to say, y'all, you give me $5 million and I will make sure you stay out of these files. I mean, what else are you covering it for? What other reason does he have? Are they all such close friends that he's willing to lose the presidency over, what they did? I doubt it very seriously. But the information those files have and what Trump can do with those as far as extorting these people, I'm going to say it's a high probability, because Trump is known to do these kinds of things, and I think he will continue to do that. What you guys need to do is, I want you to listen now for that word, nationalize elections. That's the word that they're using. Trump wants to nationalize elections. Basically what he's saying is, I want to go to each state and I want to take all the information on every registered voter you have in that state. I want to know all the information about them, where they live, how long they live there, who they work for, etc., etc. He will have all that information on every state. So now you have a rogue president with his dumbass administrative heads that don't know what they're doing. None of them do. From Pam Bondi to Kash Patel to any of them. These people are not qualified to be doing the jobs that they're doing. Holman might be the only one close enough to be, and he's been in law enforcement for 20 or 30 years, but I don't trust Holman at all. They've already proven that he's taken a $50,000 cash bribe right before the election. They've got it on tape and everything. And of course, the way Trump is, just tell them that it's not you. Just say it's not you. And then, and Trump's not going to do anything about it anyway. I mean, even if he did, he's going to pardon him. I mean, it's no different than the bullshit they pulled, him and Steve Bannon. They wanted to build this wall, and that's what he ran on. We're going to build this wall, and we're going to have Mexico pay for it. That didn't go real well. But I'll tell you what they did do. After some of the wall was completed, Steve Bannon got with a lot of Republican donors, and he got them to basically give them $25 million to finish this wall. But they didn't do that. He took that money and he ran. Most likely, he got half and Trump got the other half. Because the reason why was that when they filed the charges against Steve Bannon for ripping off these people, for fraud, because these people that donated that money are the ones that was raising hell about being ripped off by Bannon, and they were pressing charges. Bannon was going to go to prison. I mean, he's got $12 million, I know for sure, sitting in the bank somewhere, because Trump got the other $12 million, and Trump pardoned him. Now, I don't know what you see in that. I don't know what you hear in that. But it's obvious it is nothing but corruption at the highest fucking level we got. And now you got a rogue ass president who wants to try to steal the 2026 midterm elections because he's scared to death that if we get the House or we get the Senate or we get both, his ass is a lame duck from there. Because we will have so many guardrails up, he won't be able to breathe. Right now, to complete what he's doing and to maintain his control, he has to be concentrating on 2026. Because if you don't win them midterms, then you lose a certain amount of power. And see, he don't want that. Because even if he decided he was going to stay for the third term, it's not that hard for him to get the law changed, especially when you have, if the Republicans maintain Congress, or they get the Senate, if they get both, then Trump's going to be able to do pretty much as he wants for the remainder of his term. So what would he do? He would get the law changed to extend presidential terms. And why wouldn't it pass? If you've got the House, you've got the Senate, and you got the White House, nothing that the Democrats can do. But I'm telling you, we have to win these midterm elections, and he knows this, and he has made comments that there's a blue wave coming. He knows this, and he's fixing to try to do what he can to maintain the control of power. So one of the things I want you guys to be looking for is, the midterm elections. Make sure you get out with your family and friends and you vote. That is very, very important that you do this, guys, because you're playing your part, and we need your support, because we're not just going to take this man out of office without doing it legally. And that's what we want to do. We want to do it legally. But I want you to watch out for other cities having the FBI come to their city and take away however many boxes of registration, voter registration information, and all that out of that state. So they're going to try to do this on every state, giving complete control over to the White House. You all know Trump, damn good and well, and none of what he's doing is good for this country. The only thing he wants from this country is fortune. And this man, there's never been a president to have made $4 to $7 billion in 1 week. In 1 year. That is just unheard of. Yet, why is it being made out that it's okay now? Why is it being made out that it's okay now? Is that really what we want to do? Is to say, hey, y'all can steal, you can cheat, you can lie, you can do whatever you want, and it's okay with us. It's not that way, man. And too many people are turning and looking the other direction when they know damn good and well what's going on is wrong, and don't even have the balls to stand up and say something about it. Guys, like I said, the 2020 election, he knew he lost. And even today when he says, the rigged election, it was not rigged. Biden won it, just like Trump won it when he ran against Kamala Harris. No different. But Trump tried everything he could to hold on to that power. And when he found out he couldn't, he brought in the crowd. And on January 6th, he had them in such a frenzy that they were cheated, that they had to fight for their country. If you don't fight for your country, you will lose it. This is a man, and his words mattered that day. And he sent that mob down there to wreak havoc because he wanted to stop the certification for Biden's presidency. He was trying to cause as much chaos as he could. Now, Trump does not want to give up that power, but he's got a lot of things still against him, even when he gets out. Away from the presidency. Because he was convicted of 34 felony counts. He is a convicted felon. Who could ever have thought that we'd have a president as a convicted felon? Just beyond me. But Trump wants to control. He wants to be a king. I don't care what he says. He wants to be a king. That's his one desire. And he don't care who you are. He don't care if you're a Republican. He don't care if you're a Democrat. He don't care if you're he don't care who you are. If you get in his way, he's going to walk over you as a Republican just as he would a Democrat. So keep an eye out. I mean, listen out for this kind of stuff, and trust me, I'll bring as much info as I can to you each and every time I get it. But I make all my notes. I try to be as accurate on everything as I can because y'all deserve that. A lot of your media nowadays, like I said, they're so scared of being sued by Trump that they'd rather just look the other way or turn about and So he's got a lot of enablers. They're not enablers. They're cowards. That's what they are. They're cowards because they know that the things that Trump is having them do is wrong, but yet they do it anyway. So, guys, if y'all like this kind of content, hit that alert, hit that like, and definitely hit that subscribe because I will bring you the facts each and every time. I enjoy what I do. I do a lot of research to bring you the facts. I don't have a team. I don't make money off of this. I do it because I enjoy it. So, you guys, y'all have a great day. Nothing but love and peace, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you. Take care.